one thing that I really like um, about music, and that really stands out to me when I listen to an artist's music, is dynamics. That's something that really stands out to me. Um, for example, if you listen to classical music, it's like if you were to visually have the music on like a graph, you would see the valleys and peaks and things like that. Like music does this, you know what I mean? Um, you gotta have dynamic in your music. You don't want just this straight linear type music that it's just super repetitive. It doesn't seem like there's any kind of contrast in it at all. Because honestly, let me tell you guys something. Art in general is tension and release. That is what art is. Art is all about contrast. It's big next to small. It's skinny next to fat. It's black next to white. That is what art is, okay? Tension and release. And what I mean by that is, think about classical music, with the part where, all the instruments are roaring, things are going crazy, cymbals are clashing, timpanis are going, violins are going like crazy, and then, all of a sudden it kind of just dies down and gets mellow, gets mellow, it takes you somewhere. The music takes you to a more, relaxed state. And then, the instruments start picking up, Now there was that tension where I described first, where all the instruments are going like crazy. Then there's that release where things die down. Now, how are you going to contrast that? Like I said, music is about contrast. How would you bring, something, different? How would you bring that dynamic? You would contrast that part of the music where it's like, died down. It died down. So you would take things up again. You would bring in more instruments. You would, your vocals. You would start to get louder. You would start to get a little bit louder. Add some different effects to your voice at a certain point. And then you would, for example, hit the chorus. That's why I like when songs have a verse, then they have a pre-chorus, and they have a chorus, because it's a lot of contrast going on right there. You really got to look at your music in sections if you really want some great music. Look at it in sections. All right, this section sounds like this. All right, this is what goes on in this section. How's my next section going to contrast that first one? What things do I have to do? Maybe you can drop out certain instruments. Maybe you can tell your engineer, hey, look, drop out the bass because I want to speak this way on this verse. You can change the way your voice, maybe you were singing on the first verse, and then on the second verse you can like kind of just talk or whisper or whatever. It's all about contrast, because that's how you keep people's minds interested in your music. You gotta have contrast. That is what art is. I have people like hit me up and they're like, I don't know how to come up with a good hook for this song. It's like, look, don't think too much. Think about what you have going on in your first section, or your verse. Think about what you have going on there and just contrast it. Do the opposite. Do the thing that you're not doing in the first one. Drop some instruments out. And I tell people this all the time. Within the first 2 minutes and like 30 seconds of your song, something had better have changed. Something different has better entered the song. Maybe you need to drop something. Like I said, taking things out is very effective. Drop the snare, drop the drums, period. Have the piano just playing, and then bring them back in the chorus. It's all about contrast. So that is how you can effectively create better music, is utilizing that fundamental principle of music, and that's tension and release. You guys can catch me on the next video. It's been Antoine Don once again. Wake up, people. Let's make some greater music. All right, peace.